right, so fellas, we're actually doing this.
Yes, episode 1.
Episode one, technically season 2 of my old podcast with season 1 of the new podcast.
Yeah. All right, new beginnings.
New beginnings.
Yeah.
So, introduce yourself. Let's go with you first.
All right, my name is Fred DeBella. We all connected at the gym. We all connected on the Instagram group chats.
Yes.
That's what the
I'll probably bleep out because he just told you where he lives at. I'll probably cut that part out. Just so you know. Go ahead, man. Tell them who you are.
My name is Grayson. I live in the same building as these two. And yeah, just connected through the Instagram group chat. Got to know everybody and then really, became friends through watching the Dodgers win the World Series this year.
Facts.
Yes.
Exactly.
Amazing series.
Hell yeah. So, this podcast episode is probably going to drop during, Thanksgiving weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, correction. Thanksgiving week. So, what are you guys thankful for?
Health.
Yeah.
Always health. My thing, when people always ask, what are you thankful for? Everything starts with health. With no health, you got nothing.
Right.
Very
Get that
true.
health.
Yeah, I hear that. How about you?
Yeah, thankful for, honestly, it's a great point. Thankful for health. I think, on top of that, thankful for my family, for my fiance that I love dearly, and the ability and freedom to...
Shout out to the fiance.
Yeah, shout out to the fiance engaged
We
in
might have to cut
December.
this. I might to say this again. Don't get yelled at.
Oh, we're going to keep that in. We're going to keep that in.
That's true. She and I had a talk. She was like, what do I have to do? But yeah, thankful for the freedom to work where I want to be and do what I want, the things that make me happy in life. So I got a lot to be thankful for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm thankful for this year developing new friendships.
There we go.
And getting more creative again. I felt like, honestly, I was getting stagnant. I got so wrapped up in my 9 to 5 over the past year and a half. I really wasn't doing anything creative other than eating food on Instagram and making clips and thinking that was something, but I wasn't really doing it to
Were you mukbanging?
I wasn't mukbanging. But you never know. In the future, I might do a mukbang. But no, I wasn't mukbanging. But I just felt like I could be doing more. So that's why it was dope that I talked about doing my podcast again. You gentlemen were lucky to hop on and do this with me.
Yeah,
And
I've always, like I told you, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I watch them all the time.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
and
Who do
that's-
you watch? Let's give some props.
Okay,
Who do you watch?
So this is how my podcast, I guess, life started. So I was always fascinated, way back in the day. I always like to know the behind the scenes of how things really happen and stuff like that. And I was on YouTube and I saw Pauly D was going to be on a podcast called the Full Send Podcast.
Legend.
And I was like,
Legendary.
the titles are what grab you. So, and they said, talk about the Jersey Shore. So I was actually just interested about what goes on behind the scenes of the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
And so I watched that podcast and I got hooked.
Okay.
And they were, Full Send was, I don't know how big they were at the time. I know they didn't have their alcohol brand yet.
Yeah.
But I kept watching, and once you watch one, they all pop up.
Yeah.
So now I watch a bunch of other ones too, but they're all in that same category. Logan Paul's one, the Impulsive, and
Facts.
all those other guys. It's they have a whole little group.
Yeah.
That does all the podcasts. So that's how I got started.
Yeah. How
nice.
about you?
Yeah, I was never really a podcast guy.
Okay, I like the honesty. Okay.
Yeah, until probably later half of the pandemic.
Okay.
And I remember I was living in Oregon at the time. My family lived in Utah, and I was driving home to go visit everybody. I had finally, gotten my vaccination shot, whatever it might have been, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna, actually go travel again. And I drove down to Utah by myself, or myself and my dog. And it was this big long drive, and I'd never really listened to too many podcasts, and so I tried out Joe Rogan, listened to a couple episodes of that. And then just kind of was exploring through the Spotify app, and I found just a couple more that I liked, and one of which in particular that I still listen to. It's called the Ross Bolin Podcast. And it's this guy down in Texas, Ross Bolin, and
check it out.
He and his co-host. It's very just kind of laid back and conversational. It's almost just like what we're doing right now, right?
Okay.
Kind of hanging out and talking with your friend.
Facts.
And so I churned through a bunch of those episodes, and I still listen to that one to this day.
Nice.
And so now I've been expanding my podcast knowledge. So now I listen to like The Basement Yard, and a couple others.
All right, I like that. With me, it started off with I listened to a lot of Jay Shetty and Joe Rogan, and also one of the guys, Gary Vee. So I just kind of got me into the podcast stuff. To it. I see how he's doing stuff like that. And then also, I know about Full Send. I know about the Nelk Boys from doing their skits. Then they started doing their podcast, which is dope. So that's pretty sick.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was watching how they all came together. Mm-hmm. So Kyle is from Canada.
Right.
Bieber is from Canada.
Right.
And John, who is the manager, I think John and his brother, Shahidi, I think his last name is, they're brothers. They used to, I think, manage Bieber. And one night they were at Catch. And John was with Justin Bieber. And I guess walked over to Kyle. And it's like, oh, yeah, I guess they were congratulating, I like your stuff, whatever. That night, Kyle and John were talking.
Yeah.
They met up the next night for dinner, and they started Happy Dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just from that.
Shout out to Happy Dad.
Yeah.
We do not have a sponsor by them, but we'd be open to a sponsor by them. Just to talk about that, we have no sponsor.
We need the booze sponsorship
Yeah.
first
no
and foremost.
sponsors.
Yeah, no
Right now?
sponsors right now, but we're open to them.
We're open to them. I will say, like I said before, and I said it in the Instagram group chat, whatever 5 cents we make off these podcasts, gentlemen, we will split it equally 3 ways. I will show you the data monthly of what we made. It'll probably be 0.1 penny cents.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
We all
start somewhere.
We're gonna split that baby down 3 ways. We're gonna break it down 3 ways. So you have it on audio. I'm saying it. We're gonna do it. Whatever we make, equal split.
Totally.
Every single 0.0 cent made.
That's the thing, right? Like everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my first few weeks like cutting hair.
Yeah.
And literally I had one guy. Oh yeah. So I'm a barber.
Okay.
I work at a little shop right around the corner from us called the Oliver Club. And the first week that I was cutting hair, I had one guy come in, sat in my chair, gave him a haircut. Second week, nobody. Third week, first guy came back.
Nice.
And so
that's how it goes.
That was my first month of cutting hair, basically.
So what advice would you have for barbers starting out, like in your shoes? Like how persistent do you have to be to keep going and not get discouraged?
Oh man,
during that first month or two of being a barber out of barber school.
Honestly, the first year, right?
Oh, wow.
That's kind of like the common idea in at least like my industry and my experience is the first year sucks. It absolutely sucks. Okay. You're trying to build a clientele. You're trying to meet guys that want to come back into your chair, like the work that you do. And barber school in and of itself is only, it's less than a year that you're actually in school.
Right.
And so I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the case where you leave school able to accommodate everybody's hairstyle, hair texture, all that different sort of stuff. So being persistent and having that drive and dedication, it's everything. I still find myself, being fairly new to this area, right?
Yeah.
I've only lived around here for a few months, and I started working at this shop, just a handful of months ago as well, where, I walk around, try to pass out business cards, I hang flyers, I leave, little QR code scanner things at coffee shops. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now you're doing a podcast.
And now I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Come get your haircut.
Yeah, I came to get my haircut because I heard you on a podcast.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get comfortable enough? Like your first haircut, the guy comes in and he shows you a picture or something like that. I want this fade right here.
I want the Justin Timberlake fade from 2010.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, but how?
What is that?
But how is it to where they come in? Are you like nervous at first?
Absolutely.
So it's funny because I was on set one time and there was a makeup artist and she was telling me, she goes, I go to, is it Vidal Sassoon? It's one of those. Yeah,
Sassoon.
It's one of those places to where you can get $5 haircuts on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I forgot but it's a school. It's a school.
I've heard the barber schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, not barber. Well, yeah, I guess it's barber school.
It's a barber school. The barber school.
If it was Sassoon, it was probably like for women's hair, like cosmetology school.
No, what's the other one? There's another one that does it too. And she was
Paul Mitchell.
Paul Mitchell.
Yeah, has barber programs as well.
She had told me, she goes, once you come in, it's $5 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cool, no problem. So I go there. And I can tell right off the bat if someone is like nervous.
Yes.
She couldn't even put the guard on right. And I'm like,
man.
you gotta be kidding me. And then I was sitting there like, dude, you gotta be kidding me right now.
And then you're terrified. Yeah.
I'm like, she's cutting my hair. And so I said, I can shave it. I could do it myself right here.
Yeah, you're like, give it to me.
And then so they have like a teacher or whatever that goes around.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, is everything okay? This and that?
Yep.
No. I straight up said no because I'm like, I'm not gonna let you mess up my hair.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
And she goes, so the teacher actually ended up cutting my hair. And at the end, she told me, she goes, you know what? She goes, if you want to come back, fine. She goes, I'll just wash your hair.
Yeah.
She was just
Okay.
way too nervous.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I'm like, you can't be nervous.
Totally. I mean, I remember being in barber school and, so you do the first few weeks kind of in a classroom working on like mannequin heads
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
And then, but I remember my first day out on what we called the floor, right? Which is where you're actually taking those $5 clients or whatever it might be. I had a dude come in and my teacher passed me the ticket and he said, this is your client, go meet him in the lobby and bring him back to your station and cut his hair. I mean, I felt like I was vibrating. I was shaking so
And
hard.
then you have the clippers on. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
right?
clippers, it's clippers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely terrifying. But I will say, nothing I think was more fear-inducing for me than the first time I ever had to use a straight razor.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That was the thing where, you're putting a fresh razor blade into it, closing it up, getting ready to go at some guy's face with it.
Right.
And this thing could just absolutely destroy somebody. Like, that was the one thing where I remember being like, I can feel my hands shaking. And so I
Yeah.
had to like step back and really take a deep breath. And it's funny because now, it's become that thing where it's second nature. It's a tool I use every day. But that was the thing that I remember so vividly as like really terrifying.
I heard it takes longer to learn how to do a fade
Yeah.
than anything else.
Than anything else.
Because I went to, and I'm sure you know who she is, Stay Gold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
She's amazing.
yeah. And so she cut my hair once for like a video and stuff. And I drove to West Covina for it. Mm-hmm. And I was asking her, and she's huge. She was
super popular, famous barber.
She was telling me
Mm-hmm.
that she was trying to get into shops. No one would take her in.
Yeah.
Really?
And she told me it took her 2 years to learn how to get comfortable doing a clean fade on a guy.
Yes.
Now, those same people that wanted her in, or that didn't want her, hey, do you want to come guest spot? No, I'm
Yeah.
fine now. Because she
Yeah.
blew up, and actually, that was a few years ago, but she's pretty dope.
Yeah. Oh, she's super dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fan of hers for a while. She's incredibly talented.
What's her name? And give her a shout out. What's her name?
Stay Gold.
Stay Gold.
I can't
Okay,
remember her
shout out
actual.
to-
I can't
shout
remember her
out to Stay
actual
Gold, I
name.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sophie. But you know what's crazy and
Shout out
crazier?
to Stay Gold. Okay, cool, dope.
Her and her partner
Yeah.
have a studio right across the street right here.
Yeah. I know.
there.
They're like right in the neighborhood.
Dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the studio.
But no, it's funny that you say that because I would have to agree. I mean, doing a fade, in my opinion at least, is one of the harder haircuts that you can do because it's the only kind of haircut basically where you're setting a line in the hair and then you have to go back in and blend that out.
Wow.
And that
Okay.
can be super challenging.
Well, shout out to all your barbers that do really awesome
now-
fades.
and now the beards,
doing
too.
The beards, the beards is crazy.
People are because
line
beards probably the fades in the hair, but beards now. I just went to get my hair cut a couple days ago, and I was asking my barber. I'm like, do more people come in now for their beard?
Oh yeah.
The fade in the beard now
I'm
is
sure
a big thing.
Right now, I'm letting my kind just do like a
Rick Ross.
like a Rick Ross thing. You know, yeah. He called it.
I know. Come on now.
Yeah. What you doing listening to Rick Ross?
Come
You
on,
know
I
about
know.
that.
I know
She was
more.
listening to like Garth Brooks or something like that.
No.
Garth Brooks.
Don't get the white boy
wow.
confused over here.
I mean, we've got friends in low places, but
That's good, yeah. Letting it Ross out. That's dope, man.
yeah.
But what about you though? Because you are a, let me get it correct. Is it a print model and an actor?
So-
Or is
so-
it, what is it? What is the correct term?
All right, so I'm the
educator.
Yeah. What's your resume title?
Yeah, educator.
So I'm the three things a woman hates to hear.
Okay.
In LA,
Uh-huh.
you're an actor, you're a model, and you're a bartender.
Okay.
So three things women hate to hear from a guy.
We want to hear in the comments, ladies, is that true? What are the three
It's
things?
so
Say it again.
true.
Say it again for
It's
ladies.
so
It's
true.
It's going to be a
An
resounding
actor,
yes.
a model, and a bartender.
Ladies,
Three things they hate to hear.
You're a
ladies,
dangerous guy.
Ladies, all genders, whatever you identify as, we want to hear that in the comments. Is that true or false?
Yes.
It's true.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Great.
Yeah.
So, when did you kind of like get into the industry that you're a part of, at least? Like maybe, bartending, I think, is one that people kind of have that mentality of this is how you do it, right? But like the actor and model thing, like what was that experience for you, like kind of getting started?
I had an ex that lived in Hollywood, and we'd always walk to Melrose.
Okay.
And they had a thing on a telephone pole, want to be an actor. Those things you just piece of paper.
Oh yeah,
pull down.
And that's how you started?
That's how I started, because I took one of those down.
Legendary beginning to any.
What?
And I went to an acting school by the Beverly Center.
Yeah.
And it was a legit acting school. It was for free.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how I got started. But everything is networking.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 24 years now.
And you still got love for the game. You still love it.
Yeah, because to me, every time I go to work, it's a new job.
Yeah.
You get excited to go to work because everything is new.
Right.
So, but everything also is a path you have to, like, some people like to say stagnant and just do, I don't know, whatever, I guess. I don't understand it to where.
Like comfort zone.
Well, the comfort zone. But a lot of people nowadays would rather book a job off of Facebook that pays you exposure. Like there's Facebook castings that will have on there big alcohol brand, billboard, exposure, $50. And you'll have a laundry list of comments of people's Instagrams willing to do it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's mind-boggling, because get an agent.
Right.
That's why people have agents.
Yeah.
Your agents get you those jobs. You start doing those, what happens is it kind of screws everything else up, because people are willing to do it for pretty much free because they want the exposure when exposure doesn't pay your bills.
I will say, when I first moved to LA, I did a lot of background acting, but I signed it up with Central Casting.
Yeah, well, me
Central
too.
Casting gets you paid. And no, this is not a plug for Central Casting at all, but I'm just saying, fresh out the military, when I first moved to LA, like that was like my first gig, working Central Casting, doing some background acting, make a little bit of extra money.
That's how I got my SAG card.
Nice, same.
From
Let me correct myself. I'm SAG eligible. I never paid the $3K for the actual SAG card because I'm not a real actor. Background actors can become real actors. I'm just saying, me personally, talking about me, myself, I am not a real actor. I just sometimes pop up in things.
But
just had to clarify that.
But
it's an important clarification.
But there are people, like I was saying, that are comfortable with just the background work.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Oh, yeah.
But in any career, don't you want to climb the levels?
Ideally, I think.
Like for barbershop, for you start over here.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd want to be cutting the hair of the Dodgers.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to stay stagnant. You want to continue to grow.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And
I mean, even in that same metaphor, I think about the first shop that I ever worked at versus the shop that I'm at now, and I mean, it's two different worlds completely. I was doing, moms bringing their 3 sons that are all under the age of 10, and those are the haircuts that I'm doing.
Okay.
With these kids who, won't sit still, and I'm trying to put like Power Rangers on the TV or something like that, just to make them like sit still and focus on one thing, versus now where, it is much more of kind of an elevated experience. And so, I totally get what you're saying there. Like, you want to be on that trajectory.
Yeah, and that's why for me, it's like everything is networking. That's why when I bartend these parties, I love doing them, because I just did a party a couple nights ago. The house was $40 million.
Sheesh.
We had they had
That's insane.
They actually had security, like a legit security in the garage, like their own room.
Oh, yeah.
With all the TVs, like watching everything.
Bro, that's the kind of security that has security.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was like
a security
damn.
sound. They have like a hub.
Because when you work at houses like that, obviously that's probably way out there, but it gives you motivation to want to to strive for something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you do it to, because every actor or model, they bartend, they do the catering. Yeah. Everyone does that side job.
It's the hustle. Like, I feel like
it's all hustle.
For the little tiptoe put in there, I would see, and events I go to, I see a lot of really good looking waitresses and waiters. And it's like you can tell they're the actors. They just look like you look like you got cut out of a magazine. Why are you serving me a drink?
Totally.
I get it. This is like the side thing, and I get it. And I feel like sometimes you got to do the side thing to keep the main thing moving.
But also too, those side things, you're at places to where you don't know who the hell's there.
Yeah.
There could be some director, producer that'll be like, I like your look, and then next thing you know, bam, there you go.
Yeah,
You never know.
No, it's a great point. I mean, and I feel like that's one of the things that's so important with what you're talking about, where it's like you have to be willing to do that networking, right? Because it's not always like the easiest or the most natural thing, but especially being down here and kind of in the areas that we find ourselves, putting yourself out there is always going to pay off. Worst case scenario, you're right where you started the night at, right? Best case scenario, you're somewhere different.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like that's very true. Like, even after we do this podcast, I might go out tonight. I'm not sure yet, but maybe. I mean, it's very early. It's very early in LA right now. It's just dark right now because it's like the fall, but it's so early right now. It's only like
that daylight savings time.
We don't know what time it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, sun goes down at 4:30 now. By 6 o'clock, I'm like, is it bedtime? It's bad.
Yeah.
So, basically, we're thankful for career opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being in LA, making things happen. All right. So, since the title is probably what we're thankful for Thanksgiving weekend, what is your number one thing you have to have at your Thanksgiving dinner? You first. Like, the dish you have to have. The number one dish, if it's not there, your day is just ruined.
Well, so I always have the drumstick.
Really? Okay.
Always. I like the dark meat.
A man after my own heart.
Okay.
Yeah, I always, I don't know why, every time I have to have that.
You like the dark meat?
The dark meat with the stuffing, and the rolls and stuff like that. Yeah, those are my main three that I like.
Okay, what about you?
Oof. All right, I got two. I'm gonna assume that turkey is a given.
Turkey's a given. Turkey's
ham too, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, ham too.
Ham
Absolutely.
Ham has to be
ham
there.
has to be there.
Honey baked ham, whatever.
Yeah, yes.
Oh yes. Spiral cut, bro. Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't even want to put it on my plate. Let me just grab a slice off of it.
Yep. Chew on it while I'm biting my other
That's
plate
my
together.
appetizer, really, is like three, 4 slices of the ham.
There we go.
But so I've got two. I got mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a mashed potato fiend. I make them myself usually at wherever I'm at for Thanksgiving, whether I'm with my fiance's family or my family. I'm usually on mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And then my fiance's mac and cheese.
Okay.
I mean, insanely good. She uses 3 different kinds of cheese. She crusts the top up.
That's
I mean, it's on a different level.
That's what I go to. Like, my definitely go to. I gotta have the mac and cheese. I gotta have the canned yams. I gotta have like the greens with the bacon in it.
Yes.
You know, the bacon in it.
Absolutely. Cooked down. Yes.
Cooked down. The honey baked ham. Every now and then, a little bit of cranberry sauce, just because it's there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cranberry sauce is always
I don't need a lot
a Thanksgiving
of it.
thing.
I need maybe like 2 spoonfuls of it. Like, I don't need, or just like if it's sliced, just like a slice of cranberry.
Yeah.
Because it's really good if you do like what they call a leftover sandwich. We have like the turkey, the ham, the stuffing, and then you have like the cranberry sauce, like the jelly.
Yes.
It makes an amazing sandwich the next day.
Doesn't the cranberry go in the stuffing, right?
No.
No?
Sometimes.
I've never ate it that way.
But what do they put the cranberry? What do they put the cranberry in?
On
then?
the side.
Usually
No,
it's its own thing. But
It's its own thing.
let me ask you this.
Okay.
Right? Are you going canned or homemade cranberry sauce?
Most times, I think people throw out the can. I'm not sure if I've ever had a homemade cranberry sauce before.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if I have, honestly.
Oh, wow.
I'm
It's
not sure.
funny. So I've had both. And I'm going for the can.
Really?
I'm going for the can, man.
We're thankful for canned cranberry sauce. And that
I
might
want it
be
to
the title
look
of
like
this
the
podcast.
can sitting there, right? And you taking
Yeah.
slices off of it. Something about it. I think it's
Okay.
nostalgic for me. But all right, do you cook your turkey?
I don't cook my turkey. Okay, so this year for Thanksgiving, I usually do a Friendsgiving every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm more close with my friends than I am my relatives because I live on the West Coast and most of them are on the East Coast and in the South.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, everyone chips in money. Like, everyone chips in money. Like, I'm bringing a big bottle of booze. I chip the money for the honey baked ham. I chip the money for that. Basically paid for the whole thing, for the ham. And chip some other stuff, but that's how we do it.
I like
As
it.
far as my cooking skills, if I was to cook something, man, I think I'm better off just bringing the booze and like chips and dip.
So we cook.
I don't want to ruin Thanksgiving. My cooking skills are subpar.
All right, fair play.
Yeah, we cook. I mean, Cindy, my girlfriend, she cooks everything.
Okay.
She loves to cook.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to the girlfriend who cooks everything.
She loves to cook,
And she
so-
actually wanted to give us a name for the podcast. We still
Yeah.
don't have an exact name yet. It's still just going to be Maserati Holla Live featuring the boys. But we're going to come up with a different podcast name separate from that for just the 3 of us
Yeah.
in the very, very near future.
We're still brainstorming.
And
so
she may
be
get
patient.
credit for that. She really wanted to like.
she liked it.
Shout out to her, and
Yeah.
and honestly, if she ever wants to come on as like a producer, maybe she wants to come on and produce the show. Might need that. Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
To the next level.
Most things are made better by a woman's touch. So
seriously, she might decorate it differently right now. Like,
Oh yeah, she would. Her thing is it's what's behind you.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So
That's what she says. She goes, it's not
idea,
you, it's what's behind you.
So any of the comments, like right now we're shooting this at like my off-brand like home studio area. So I wanted to have like the studio stuff in the background, but we may change up differently. Like we may have a different layout and stuff.
See how it looks on camera.
Yeah, see the camera. We'll see what the comments. Maybe I'll get roasted in the comments. I don't know. Yeah. This whole time I've been trying to figure out what to do with my hands because the camera's right there. I have no idea what to do with my hands.
Whatever you want, bro.
So
chill.
just sitting in here,
whatever you want.
Moving in there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's chill. It's good.
So
Can't look nervous on camera.
So I'll figure that out. I'm sure I look pretty nervous.
That shows.
Don't comment. I'm sure I look a little nervous. But yeah.
No, that's funny. I mean, so yeah, like taking it back to Thanksgiving and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like growing up, like my all-time favorite memory. So my dad always cooked the turkey, right? And he would deep fry it. So we had the whole thing set up outside.
Love a deep fried turkey.
Yes, and he'd be injecting it, doing all kinds of different stuff, and then we would drop it in and pull it out however long later. I can't remember right now, but it was amazing. And it's like the one thing where like I think about Thanksgiving and I can see like it's like these like dark juices running out of the bird, and we drop it in the hot oil and whatever outside in the driveway. Yeah, I was always worried we were gonna burn the house down, but
Have you ever seen videos people do burn the house or something down? It's
I'm sure there's videos on YouTube.
Every year someone's like, I think
Yeah.
it's because you have to. I think, like I said, I'm not a cook, really not a cook. I think you're supposed to defrost the turkey first and then deep fry it.
Well,
and where people mess up is that they put a frozen turkey in the deep fryer, and that's what makes it go kablooey.
So there's a couple things where it can go bad.
Okay.
You're spot on with that one because water and oil, right? Don't mix. And a frozen turkey has got a lot of water on it.
It's got to thaw out somehow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That or you mismeasure your oil, so you don't account for dunking the bird into it, and the oil spills over the sides. And it's it's a live flame underneath that pot. So if they got oil running down the side of it, no bueno. But yeah, no, there's some crazy videos of people trying to deep fry turkeys and losing a garage or a hand or whatever it might be. I mean, it's like the Dodger celebration, right? The dude with the fireworks, blew his hand off.
RIP that dude's hand, man. That's a rough one, brother.
Yeah.
And I think they put up a GoFundMe or something for that. I don't know the status on that, but if y'all see it, go.
That's not good.
Donate to his situation.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I shot Dodgers win the World Series. That's amazing. Let's go Dodgers.
Freddie Freeman is
a legend.
Animal.
So Betts, legend.
Did you know?
Give Shohei whatever he wants. Give him more money.
$700 million, not even worth it.
Give him more money.
Did you know that to this day, Freddie Freeman's dad drives him to batting practice?
Yes.
I just heard about that today. He was on.
I saw this.
Oh, he was on the Kelsey's podcast. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And
is their podcast good? I have never watched it.
I watched it. Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe I'll steal some of their ideas and make our podcast better.
I mean, it's good.
I mean, borrow.
It's good. But yeah,
I think you need a couple of massive, attractive football players to make that podcast work.
We can make that happen. I mean, we live in LA. Who knows? Maybe one day.
That's
if
true.
any Rams players or Chargers players want to come on our podcast, you're more welcome to come join us. Just like hit us up in the DMs.
Yeah.
Well, too bad Zach doesn't still live here.
Oh yeah, shout out to homie Zach. He could have plugged it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm about to wrap this one up, boys. So, but before we go, countdown. Give them your Instagram.
My Instagram is debella.fred.
Yes, it is. Worth a follow for sure.
Worth a follow.
Mine is Sheffield Barbering. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it basically, type it out exactly as it sounds.
It'll be in the
description.
It'll be in the description. Yeah.
Mine is Maserati Holla Music.
Holla.
And also I'm also a Twitch streamer, so it's also Game Over Maserati or Game Over Mazer. That's crazy. I don't know my own IG handle for my gaming channel, but this has been great. We're gonna do this again. So let's wrap this up with positive affirmation. What's one positive thought you want to give to somebody out there? A positive word or something? I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Positive.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm
so
just
I have this tattooed on me.
Okay.
Positive thoughts equal positive results.
Love that.
Yes.
Go. What you got?
I'm gonna take a page out of your book. I'm also gonna go with a tattoo that I have.
Okay.
That right here it says it's better to die on your feet than it is to live on your knees, which means
wow.
That could mean a few different things.
Coming up with a fire tattoo.
So yeah.
Wow.
And he's got to find something now.
Yeah. Be yourself, right? Stand up for what you believe in. It will always pay off.
I did it. Okay, I guess to go with one of the tattoos that mine says Carpe Noctem, and I'm probably saying it wrong.
Oh, you talking about
No, mine says Carpe Noctem, which means seize the night. Because I used to be a real night owl. I like to go out and just enjoy life. But that's it for episode 1, season 2, but 1-2, whatever. But all right, this is great. We'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.